most of you probably know me as my stint as chairman of the Vermont Republican Party, but my interest in politics really formed its genesis in school choice and in the school choice movement. Long before I got into politics, when my career was advertising, and it still is, so if anybody's looking for advertising, see the ad on the show. But my original portfolio, my spec portfolio that I took around agencies looking for a job included spec posters for the school choice movement. When I moved to Vermont in 1998, I got involved with James Dwinell, who I see over here, Libby Sternberg, and their efforts in Vermonters for Better Education. I've since served on the board of Vermonters for Better Education, which has since turned into EdWatch Vermont. This is an organization that is dedicated to promoting school choice, and both here and elsewhere, if we can get that far. I've served as a board member. I've served as their executive director, and I've served as a consultant to them as well. So I've got lots of experience in school choice. It's something I'm very passionate about, and it's also very personal for me because as a kid, well, I went to a fantastic public elementary school in Greenwich, Connecticut, Riverside Elementary School, which was counted at the time and probably still is as one of the best in the country. But it wasn't the right fit for me. I did not do well at all, and I was lucky enough to have parents who had the means to send me to a private school, which they did in the 6th grade, and where I was able to thrive. And I continued in private school through the end of my education. And that's an opportunity that I personally believe should be available to every child, regardless of who their parents are or what private money that they have access to. So that's how I come into this debate. If I were giving advice to candidates for governor, I saw Brian was in the back a second ago, so hopefully he's still listening. My advice would be to embrace the school choice movement with both arms, and there are several reasons for doing so, not the least of which is that school choice has a 140-year history already in place in the state of Vermont. In 92 towns, we have 92 towns in Vermont that to varying degrees allow full money to follow the child wherever they want to go. And if you look at the map of school choice towns in Vermont, you see a big green blob of choice towns up in the Northeast Kingdom, another one down in Bennington, Windsor, Windham County, and another one up in the St. Albans area. And looking at those high concentrated areas of school choice, what do you see growing up around that dynamic? You see St. John's Bury Academy, you see the Linden Institute, you see Burr and Burton, you see the Sharon Academy, you see the Maple Street School, you see the Long Trail School. The list of some of the most renowned names in Vermont education, and these are schools that have a national and an international reputation for excellence. This is the kind of community that school choice can bring out in education. So we know it works. We know it works in Vermont. This isn't some half-falutin idea we're trying to import from some European country, but we can talk about school choice in other European countries where it's worked very well. This is something that's homegrown. It is woven into the fabric of Vermont's rural heritage and, quite frankly, the progressive nature of our politics. When there was this has gotten a lot of play over this last legislative session because of the consolidation movement that was brought forward by the Commissioner of Education. And consolidation, many thought, threatened school choice, and this brought the parents out of the woodwork. They had a hearing back in March in the State House and filled the room with 200 people in the room, and there were probably another 100 people in the hall of parents coming out saying what a wonderful part of their life school choice is, how they moved to Vermont, brought jobs here, created businesses here, so they could enjoy the benefits of school choice for their children. And these weren't staunch conservative Republicans, as most people tend to stereotype the school choice movement as being, as these stuffy Republicans. These were progressives. These were Democrats. And if you look at polling that's been done, the Friedman Foundation did a poll, I guess it was a year and a half ago. They polled 1,400 Vermonters. Now remember, you can accurately predict a presidential election nationally with 400, with a pool of 400. They polled 1,400 Vermonters. 89% of them said that they would like to see school choice in Vermont. So if you're a politician, Not only is this good policy, it's good politics, because you've got an overwhelming majority of people like the idea of school choice, and you have a history of it. It's 140 years old where it works. And not only can it provide superior education, and that's actually the wrong term. I don't want to say that school choice provides a superior education, because as Emerson said in his opening remarks, a good education is open to debate. Everybody has a different perspective. School choice allows for that. And it's not me fighting with you about what one size fits all is going to be best for my kid. It's about you figure out what's best for your kid, you figure out what's best for your kid, and we let the market take over. And when we do that, we see St. Johnsbury Academy, we see Burlington Academy, we see all sorts of things that kids getting what they need. So if we can bring people into the state, there's an economic development aspect to this that I see. We pride ourselves in Vermont on our creative economy and our entrepreneurialism. Let's open up creativity and entrepreneurialism to school. I think that it fits our culture very well, it fits our rural society. We have a demographic crisis. We have a demographic crisis in this state where we're losing not only our school-age kids, which have gone from 106,000 to 90,000, and it's projected lower, but we're losing our 18 to 36-year-olds, which makes sense, it's these kids' parents. How can we entice them to come to Vermont? We have a good education system, but is it enough of a difference to say, come here, bring your job, start your businesses? You're an educationally minded parent. I think if you said you will have the resources of school choice of $12,000 per child at your disposal to do what you would want to, that's a pretty powerful incentive to get people to move here. So we'll touch on a lot of this. I know Emerson's going to kick me under there if his leg is long enough for talking too long. But that's the advice that I would give to the politicians, is embrace school choice with